Parshat Naso, I would like to call your attention to a topic that's very rarely addressed, but it's very high profile in this week's Parsha, and that is flags, degolim, degel machna this, degel machna that. Each shevet has its own degel, and we know that the degel is a very important symbol for any nation. Here in Israel, they make such a big deal about the degolim, and they have a masa degolim and so forth and so on. The degel is meant to inspire a person. Its vision, its pictures, its colors, and so forth and so on. So I wanted to just mention three of the shvatim and what, according to the Torah, their degolim respectively look like. First, we'll start with Yehuda. Yehuda had a degel. The background was blue, and inside the blue was a picture of a lion. And then I want to talk to you a little bit about this, the Shevet Zvulun. Zvulun had a background that was white, and on it was a ship. And then we have Yisachar. Yisachar had black in the back, but representations of the sun and the moon inside the body of the flag with the black colored background. Yehuda, as we see at the end of Parshas Vayechi, Yaakov bestows upon him the bracha of Gur Aryeh Yehuda. Yehuda represents courage, Gvura. It represents, the ability to fight. The soldiers, the great soldiers of Israel, come from Shevet Yehuda. But, sometimes a great soldier, with all his might and power, might get carried away with himself. The blue always reminds us of Hashem. And therefore, it's very important that the Jewish soldier realize that above it all comes the Almighty. We find in tzitzis, for example, the blue of Tcheles reminds us of the Kisei HaKavod of the Shamayim, and that's the important message for the soldier of Israel. Remember that, you can't get carried away with your power and be a lion, but you have to realize that it's all up to Hashem, and He controls the world. In the case of Yisachar, Chazal understand that Yisachar is the shevet that represents the merchants, the business people, those who are involved in export and import. And here we have a picture of the sailing ship, which was Yisachar's occupation. But what's critical is the background is white. White means purity, means honesty. This is the message that we have to have for people who are dedicated to buy and sell and all the professions. There's got to be a yashrus, a straightness. The Netziv, in his introduction to the book of Bereshit, speaks about Sefer Yesharim, not to try to, cheat anyone, chas v'shalom, or to be totally, totally honest. And then we get to Yisachar. Yisachar is the spiritual elite, the intellectuals. These are the leaders of Israel. And sometimes in the life of any nation, and we're going through it right now here in Israel, there's a black kind of despairing background. But we need the intellectual elites, the leaders of our people, the Sachars of every generation, to show us pictures of the sun, of the moon, the light, the luminaries, even though right now they are darkened by clouds. But below those clouds, there's room for optimism and faith. Yiratzon may be His will that all the people of Israel merge together to form one entity, each shevet with its own unique contribution. And the beauty is that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Yiratzon, that the Yehudas who are leading us in the battlefield, they are the lions of Israel with Gevura. And the Zvulans who are up there doing the merchandise, the selling and the buying, they will be shining lights for the honesty of the white background. And most important, perhaps, is that these suchars of our generation should continue to give us chizuk, to continue to give us optimism and faith in the Ribono Shalom, Ken Yiratzon Amen. Taking this opportunity to wish you a Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much.